Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Introduction to Dual Screen and Foldable Development. My name is Cristian, and together with my colleague Cesar, we're part of the Surface Duo device project. So, today we're going to dive more into what foldables are and what you can do for them. But before we do that, we just wanted to say thank you to the entire DroidCon team for organizing this event in these really, really hard times. So yeah, thank you all for your hard work. Yeah. Cool. So as I said before, we're going to talk about foldables today. So what resources you can have, what you can use. We're going to talk about the Jetpack Window Manager, our foldable libraries that Microsoft built on top of Jetpack Window Manager from Google. So, and the learning and references that you have to do this. Right, so foldable devices. Foldable devices are split into two categories. Single screen foldable devices that have one screen that can fold. These devices can run single screen apps using multi-window mode, and also dual screen foldable devices like the Surface Duo, which has two screens with a joint hinge and two logical display regions. So you'll have to take that into account when developing for them. Cool, so we're going to talk about postures, and we're starting with spanning postures. So first of all, we have to define what spanning is. Spanning, we say that spanning is when an app takes advantage of the entire display that the device can offer to it. So the first posture would be a flat posture. The second one is called half open. It's kind of like a book. It helps a lot with reading. And the third one would be vertically flat. We also call it dual landscape mode, and for folded postures, like the fourth one would be the tent mode. That helps a lot, for example, when you're trying to watch a movie. And the last one would be half-open tabletop posture. And this, you can bring up the keyboard, and you can type on it, so it helps a lot with productivity. Cool, so a couple of weeks ago, we introduced the Surface Duo 2. So the Surface Duo 2 is the second iteration of our Surface Duo devices lineup. It helps a lot with productivity, because, of course, you can run two apps side by side. You can also span apps and create a more immersive experience. So mainly, it's a very, very cool device that we are just really excited for you to try it out. It will actually come up very soon, in a couple of weeks. So really excited about that. Cool. So what are the main resources that you can access today to start your development journey for these foldable devices? The main sources would be two links. Like, we are going to start the first one that actually our team created. There you can find design patterns for foldables. You can find our design kit for them, some guidelines that you can use. We invested a lot of time into samples that were created with Kotlin, Java, Xamarin, React Native, so on. So if you're using a code, it should be there for mobile. And also the documentation for our foldable libraries SDK. And we're also going to dive deeper into our current work for those. The second link is responsive layouts for large screen development from Google. It contains the guidelines on how to create a UI that actually works for single screen devices, foldables, and large screen devices. So very, very cool resources that you should definitely check out if you want to develop for this new form factor. So if we're going to kind of wrap things up and give you the main two tips that you should focus on when developing for this new form factor, those would be to make sure that your app works for multi-window mode, and also that it dynamically resizes its views. So make sure that your app resizes, make sure that works for multi-window mode, try it out, and you should be good to go. But then again, like, how am I going to try it out if, like, because of the pandemic, you can't really put your hands on one of those devices? Like, on some regions, those devices can't be found. Your best way to do it would be you installing an emulator. So Google invested in 4 emulators from Android Studio with different specs, different screen sizes, different features. And you can also install the Surface Duo emulator from us, from our team. There are actually 2 emulators. One of them mirrors the Surface Duo 1, and the other one, the Surface Duo 2. Try them out, install them, put your app into them, see how the views align. If they don't align, make the small adjustment that you need to do so that your app runs smoothly on them. Cool, so from now on, I will leave my colleague to continue. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I think you can hear me, yeah? OK. So yeah, so far we have seen already like the difference between the different foldable devices that we can have, like single screen devices, dual screen devices. Also, we have seen the different like postures that the different foldables they can use. Then also we have seen the documentation and then the emulator. So now, starting now, what we are going to see, there are the different libraries that we as developers can use in order to enhance our apps for these new form factor devices, such as foldables and also to large screen devices. So if you haven't realized till now, so Cristian was always mentioning foldables. So we are not like focusing on our device. So because everything that we are explaining here works for all foldable devices, for all different manufacturers that they implement, for instance, this main library that is called Jetpack Window Manager. Jetpack Window Manager is the main library that we currently have, like to support foldable devices and large screen as well. It's a library created by Google, and it's a part of the Jetpack set of libraries. The main thing, so this library is going to help you in order to provide you information about the important aspects of the device. Like in this case, I mean, we are focusing on foldables, so it will give you information about the folding feature. What is the folding feature? So as Cristian has mentioned before, span, when we span an app, it's like the app is using the whole display area. This is a super important term that we are going to use in the whole talk. And now there is the second term that we are going to use a lot, and is the folding feature. Folding feature actually is like, for instance, in our device, in the dual screen device, is the physical hinge. In any other foldable device, it's also the folding part usually in the middle of the device. So this is the folding feature, OK? So Jetpack Window Manager provides you information regarding the folding feature and window metrics. We are going to see first folding feature. So the first thing that you can get that Window Manager provides you information is about the boundaries of the folding feature. So where the folding feature is located in the device. So the specific boundaries of the device. So left, top, right, and bottom. Then with that information, then you can realize, OK, so here I have a folding feature. So then if I want to provide a really good experience for my users, I should align the different UI components to the left, to the right, or when you rotate the device and then the folding feature is horizontal, to top or bottom. This is actually one of the keys aspects of the Jetpack Window Manager providing info about the folding feature. Then the second thing is postures. So it can be flat or half open. As we have seen before, foldable devices, they can take different postures. And Jetpack Window Manager provides you information about which posture the device is using, but just focusing on the 2 main ones. That is flat, when the device is completely open, so in 180 degrees, and then when the device is half open, in 90 degrees. Then the third thing that we have, there are properties. So Jetpack Window Manager also provides info about the orientation of the folding feature. So if the folding feature is in vertical, like in foldable devices, many foldable devices, or in horizontal. Also, we know some foldable devices that they have an horizontal folding feature. And also, for instance, in our device, when you rotate the device, then the folding feature is horizontal. When you handle the device as a book, it's in vertical. Then also gives you information about if the folding feature is separating the content. If it's separating the content, can take 2 values, true or false. So if it's separating your content, you should then align the content across the folding feature, the hinge. And then the last thing, it will be like occlusion type that can be none or full. And this means that if the folding feature is actually occluding, as the word is mentioned here, is occluding the content. So usually this affects, or this happens on folding features that they are bigger than 0 pixels. So folding feature with 1 pixel, Jetpack Window Manager will return you an occlusion type full. Then the second thing that Jetpack Window Manager provides you is about window metrics. It can give you information about the current window metrics. So the current window metrics that your app is using. So for instance, imagine that you are using multi-window, and then your app is just running on half of the screen, and then you have another app on the other screen. So you are going to get the current window metrics that the app is using in this specific time, but also can provide you the maximum window metrics that is the whole display area. OK, having said that, now we can see a little bit how the info looks when we run Jetpack Window Manager. So this is a super basic sample app that I think we also, maybe we are going to see that as well in our workshop on Friday. And what you can see here basically is like so the app is running in single screen mode, so in one screen, one display on the Surface Duo. And then you can see the information regarding current window metrics and maximum window metrics. And then you see like the window layout info that actually the folding feature comes in an array of display features. Because, why that? Because Jetpack Window Manager is already prepared for the future, because eventually, maybe, who knows, we have devices with more than one folding feature. That's the reason that you get an array of that. Why here is empty? Because the app is running currently in single screen mode. And because the app is not interacting with the folding feature, Jetpack Window Manager doesn't provide you any info. Because actually here, you don't need that. But if you run the app span across displays, here you can see now how also the current window metrics and maximum window metrics, they have changed. So now they show you the whole display area of the metrics. And also now you have the window layout info with information. What information is providing here? So it tells you that the display, the array of display features has it's a folding feature, one folding feature. With a rect, the rect is the boundaries of the folding feature, of the hinge. So in this case, you can see the coordinates, left, top, right, and bottom. Which type of folding feature is? Here in this case is a physical hinge, and then the state of the posture. The state is a name also that uses under the Jetpack Window Manager. That is the posture that the device currently has. As we see, the device is open in 180 degrees, so the posture or the state is flat. Again, as I mentioned before, this works for all foldable devices. So now, for instance, we are using an emulator, an horizontal folding feature emulator that you can download through Android Studio. And in this example, we are seeing the Jetpack Window Manager sample that we have seen before in the top area, and then just another app, I think the Contacts app at the bottom. As you can see here, the information looks pretty, I mean, it's the same information. The window metrics are different, of course, they are adapted to the screen of the device, but it's the same that we were getting when running the app in Surface Duo, in the dual screen device, in single screen mode. What does it happen when we don't use multi-window, when the app is spanned across displays? As you can see here, now current window metrics and maximum window metrics, they have changed. So now it gives you information also about the whole display area. And again, the window layout info now has information. Before, we didn't have information, as you can see in the other screen, because there was not folding feature interacting with your app. But now that it's interacting, you get information about that, about the boundaries of the display feature. Here, for instance, you see the red line. We have done that for the sample, so you can see where the folding feature is in this device. That is 1 pixel. As you can see also that if you make the calculation, you see there that is 1,318 and 1,319 top and bottom. So it's 1 pixel. We have a folding feature of just 1 pixel. The type and the state, because it's open also 180 degrees. OK, so we have seen what Jetpack Window Manager provides and how useful it is. How we can use Jetpack Window Manager? So super easy. There is just one dependency to add to our project. Currently, Window Manager is in beta 2. So it means that the API is stable and it's not going to change. They are just going to improve that and to adapt and to add more things. But the current API is not going to change. And the basic functionality that we have seen is there and it's not going to change. OK, the first thing that we are going to see is how to get the window metrics. OK? So the window metrics, how to get the window metrics is actually pretty easy. What we have to do is just to get an instance using the window metrics calculator. And with that instance, we just use one of the functions that is compute current window metrics, and then we get the boundaries. And that's all. So this is the code behind this text that we have in the screenshot. And the maximum window metrics, basically the same, but using compute maximum window metrics instead current window metrics. And with that, we already have this information that can be useful for you as well. OK, and now how we get the other part of the info about the folding feature, the boundaries, the posture, and so on. So Jetpack Window Manager has been evolved a lot since Alpha 1 till now, till Beta 2. And so originally we had callbacks, and it has changed a lot. And actually it has grown also with what the community and Google also encourage. So now the preferred mode or the recommended mode from Google to go with asynchronous programming is using coroutines and flow. So also Jetpack Window Manager under the hood uses flow. So the information is going to get to you through a flow of data. So the first thing that we have to do is just to get an instance of window info repository. And once that we get that, we now can use, for instance, in this case, we use a lifecycle scope. So then they can be canceled, the coroutine. And then we want that whenever the lifecycle change in the start, we collect the information again. As you can see here with the collect, we are collecting the flow of data. And this is the layout, the folding feature information. Once that we get that info, we can do things with that. In this case, we were just, for instance, in this update UI function, we were just printing this information. And that's all. If you are wondering about the other properties that we have seen before, like occlusion type, is separating, and so on, you also can get those properties through window info repository, through the window layout info. And that's all regarding like Jetpack Window Manager. As you have seen, it's very easy and very powerful. The information that gives you is really direct to the point. But Google also has made a super cool effort in terms of adapting to what developers they are currently doing. So as we have seen, Jetpack Window Manager uses coroutines and flow. But Google is aware that many people still use Java and also callbacks, no? Because many needs, I don't know, like there are a lot of different use cases. So because that, also Google provides a different artifact that is built on top of the Jetpack Window Manager artifact that we have seen. So you need actually both. And this provides you a Java interface through callbacks. So then if your code base is Java, or you feel more comfortable with callbacks, you can use the Java artifact. If you are using RxJava version 2 or RxJava version 3, you can wonder why. So I'm using already RxJava. I don't really need flow. This is an overhead. I already have that, and it works well for me. So Google also has thought about that, and then provides you also the artifacts, the bindings, to use RxJava 2 or RxJava 3 on top of the coroutines flow. And then the last one, and to me, one of the most important one, or the most from these three, is the testing artifact. So currently, to test, you implement an app that is foldable aware. You want to when you create the UI test, you want to test that, okay, that this button is aligned to the left of the folding feature, this to the right, or up to you, no? In order, so you can test that also using foldable emulators, foldable devices, and so on. But Google also has thought, like, okay, it could be super cool that you can mock the folding feature. So even in a single screen device, you can create in UI testing a folding feature, and then you can also test your UI without the need to deploy a new emulator, a foldable emulator, dual screen emulator, and so on. So with that, you are good to go. OK, so we have seen Jetpack Window Manager. That is the main library that we have for foldables and large screen development. Then now I'm going to tell you about Jetpack sliding pane layout. So sliding pane layout has been there already for some time. But this year, I think at the beginning of this year, Google made an update. That the interesting part of this update was that the component was foldable aware. So what this component was doing before and is doing now. So this component is really help you in order to implement the least detail pattern. Least detail pattern you can see in like an email app. No? In an email app, you have the list of emails, you tap on an email, and then you have the detail view on top of that. No? Jetpack sliding pane layout helps you in order to achieve that because it's super easy to use. You just define the two different containers, and the sliding pane layout is going to work on the rest of the things. So for instance, as we can see here, imagine that the orange is the list of items, and imagine that the green is the detail with the email. So you use sliding pane layout in single screen mode or in a single screen device, and you, for instance, here, in this case, we tap on that button, then the detail view pane is going to show you at the top, and you also can dismiss as well. But the cool thing, as I mentioned, that with this update that was sliding pane layout was foldable aware, is that when running on a foldable device, sliding pane layout under the hood uses Jetpack Window Manager and is going to align the different panes according to where the folding feature is. So as you can see here, then when runs in this dual screen emulator or device, then you can see how the one pane is to the left and the other pane is to the right. And you don't have to do anything. It's just everything is working under the hood with Jetpack Window Manager and so on. How we can use sliding pane layout? Again, super easy, even easier than that Jetpack Window Manager. We have just to add this dependency. As you can see here, I'm not adding Jetpack Window Manager dependency because it's not needed. So sliding pane layout is using under the hood window manager. And then in our XML, what we have to do is just to define the sliding pane layout component, and then we just define the two different the panes that we are going to use. It can be fragments, it can be a frame layout, a constraint layout, any view, no? Any child. And with that information, you are ready to go. Of course, sliding pane layout allows you also some. You can customize that, so you can define like a minimum width for instance, for the first child, and then this is going to help you. For instance, when you are using this component in a tablet, that also it shows well, like with the two different panes, because it's using the minimum width of the first child. As we can see here, for instance, this is running in a tablet, and Jetpack sliding pane layout works well also in a tablet because we have defined a specific width for the left pane, as you can see in the top and the bottom left images. And here is also the same, but without other customization. But you can see that it behaves as well as a single screen device. And again, I will highlight again that this is not just for dual screen or tablets that we are seeing here. It's for foldable. So then, as we can see here, the same sample app we use in sliding pane layout. In the first screen at the top, in the first screenshot, we are seeing a foldable device that it has, in this case, a vertical folding feature, and then you see how the panes are aligned. You don't do anything. This is automatically done by Jetpack sliding pane layout, and then in the other foldable emulator, you see exactly the same behavior. And that's all for me for now. Now Cristian is going to continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Cesar. Right, so let's dive more into our work into the foldable library. So what is our team currently doing? So we started a refactoring process so that our old SDK will work with other foldables. So right now we have 4 components that work with other foldables: the foldable layout, the foldable frame layout, the bottom navigation view, and the foldable layout manager. The rest is currently under construction, so please stay tuned for more awesome things. We are going to dive more into these components in the next slides. So we're going to talk first about the foldable layout. So the foldable layout is a layout that is folding feature aware. It detects the multi-window mode. It works on all foldables. You can see in the first picture, it detects that the app is in multi-window mode. And in the second one, it splits the screen in two containers, so you can do different fragment navigations and things like that. It also works for the Surface Duo 2 emulator. You can see that it also compensates for the hinge. It detects it. It adds the appropriate spacing for it, the orientation, and everything else. So how are you going to use it? Of course, you will add in the dependency. You'll hear from me saying that a lot in the next slides. Add in the XML code. So, and for it to work, you will need to pass in the layout for the single screen mode and the layout that you want to be inflated in dual screen start and dual screen end containers. Right, so we'll jump to bottom navigation view. So bottom navigation view, we didn't refactor it or build it from the ground up. We actually added code to the bottom navigation view from Google. So we made it foldable feature aware. So as you can see in the first feature, it detects where the hinge position is. It moves to the left. In the center picture, you can see it runs on the Surface Duo emulator. So normally, a navigation view would hide the third item under the hinge. But because it's now foldable aware, it knows it, it moves it. So now the user can interact with it. Or you can do different things. So we're just scratching the surface of what the components can do. It will remain for you to dig more into the docs and ask a question for us if you need to. And of course, it also lines to the right, so that's what the third picture shows. So how are you going to use it? Again, add in the dependency, add in the XML code, nothing new here. And if you need to, you will have to specify and set the display position for the component so that it can move around or do it what you need to do. Cool. And next, we're going to talk about recycle view. So recycle view, we didn't really refactor the recycle view. We actually added code to the layout manager and the item decoration class. So what it can do, it basically can detect the folding feature and split the list of items into two lists. You can see the odd items are on the left, and the even items are on the right. How are you going to use it? Again, you have to add in the dependency. You'll have to subscribe to window layout info events. So once you receive one of those events, you'll have to set in a new layout manager and a new item decoration. The first class will need the window layout info so that it knows how to place the views and how to resize things. And the second one would be so that it can compensate for hinges. It can add in spaces between the lists. Cool. Thank you.
OK, now I'm going to continue. Thank you, Cristian. So we have seen already then the libraries that we have. And actually, not all of them, because as Cristian has mentioned, our team is also working on other libraries that we are currently working on making them foldable aware. In order to help you with the learning curve, no? And it's always good to have not just documentation, but some training, some exercises to do. No? So one of the things that we think that they are super interesting is always Google Code Labs. No? And we, together with Google, we have created this Code Lab, support foldable and dual screen devices with Jetpack Window Manager. And this Code Lab is already live, already for some months. You can learn many things about foldable devices. So actually, you are going to learn many things that we have seen here, like, for instance, the different foldable devices that we have, the different postures. But the main things that we have in this Code Lab is, like, we are going to show you how you can enhance your app with just doing minimum changes. For instance, you don't have to really do or use Jetpack Window Manager in order to take advantage of a dual screen or a foldable device. For instance, imagine that you are running two apps in multi-window mode or in Surface Duo, one side by side, and you want to drag and drop content from one to the other. You can use the standard drag and drop API that has been in the framework forever, and also using multi-window. So using that, you definitely can use that with those devices, using multi-window or app side by side. So you are going to learn that. You are not going to learn also about how you can launch an activity to the adjacent window. So if you are running in multi-window, it will run in the adjacent window, a new activity coming from your app to the adjacent window, and also a new activity to the adjacent screen in this device. And then the main thing that we have here in this Code Lab is about Jetpack Window Manager. Here you are going to learn everything related to Jetpack Window Manager that we have seen here, the different properties, the different postures, the theory, how we use Jetpack Window Manager. Actually, we are going to build the same super basic example that we have shown here with Jetpack Window Manager. You have it there. And then we move from there, and actually we In this sample, we make that it doesn't look really well when the app is spanned across displays. So here in this code lab, you are also going to learn how, using Jetpack Window Manager, then how you can align your content. So is the folding feature is not occluding the content. It's just your UI works well and shows like nicely. Yeah, we are currently working on this still. So it's a code lab that is already live, but we are enhancing and improving the code lab, because in this, currently, if you go to this URL, codelab, AKMS, codelab VM, you are going to see that the version that we are using from Jetpack Window Manager is a little bit old, because you can see here it's updated in April 23rd. But we are working currently with Google as well in update with all these new changes that we have seen here, with all the new APIs, the new features that Jetpack Window Manager provides, and also we are going to see things regarding the new artifacts that also we have for Jetpack Window Manager. So this is definitely, I would say, that really a good place to go as an Android developer to learn about foldable development. Then other resources that I wanted to share with you as well was the docs. I mean, those resources, they are like now Microsoft Surface Duo resources, but as we have highlighted the whole talk, they are foldable resources, so it's not just for our device, they are for all foldable, so our docs, as Cristian has mentioned before. Then we have our blog, so every Thursday we publish an article, a new article about something related to foldable development. Can be Android, but can be also PWA, can be Xamarin, so the foldable world. Then our Twitter account, follow us if you are interested about foldable news and updates. Then GitHub, so I'm just posting here this link that is actually pointing to our main repository, is where our libraries that Cristian has mentioned live. But we have many repositories. If you go to our docs, we are going to see how the different repositories for samples, for Jetpack Compose, for Flutter, for React Native, for Xamarin, for everything. So, but I wanted to highlight with this link that all our repositories, they are on GitHub, so they are open source under MIT license. So you can see the code. So for instance, what Cristian has mentioned, button navigation, foldable layout, recycler view, everything is, so you can get the artifact in Maven Central, but also the code is there in GitHub, so you can see the code, and even if you feel like that, you even can help us to build better components. And then I would like to highlight the last two things as well. So Twitch, we have a Twitch stream every Friday, I believe, at 8 p.m. European time, Berlin time, where we also stream. We talk about 30 minutes about foldables, about something new, the Jetpack Window Manager, sliding pane layout, our libraries, and so on. And then the YouTube channel, where after the stream, we always upload the content there for offline viewing. And I think that's all what we wanted to share with you for now. On Friday, we have a workshop, I believe it's at 11 a.m., where we are going to do live coding, and we are going to see how we can take an app that was designed for single screen mode, and we are going to see how to enhance the app with the different tools that we have seen here. So now I believe I think we have time, yeah?